right, welcome to Primos for Life, the wrestling podcast made for the fans, by the fans. Como siempre, yo soy Eddie, el niño vaque. We got Ariel, the Ecuadorian dream bisueta, and we are your self-proclaimed, undisputed co-host tag team champions of the world. In tonight's episode, we do a mega recap of Monday Night Raw and Smackdown. 2 weeks worth. One so big, we had to split it into 2 parts. So, without further ado, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get it on. What's up, Primo?
What's going on, dude? How are you?
Awesome. Excited. Really, looking forward to the next couple of weeks because it's officially April and we are truly on the road to WrestleMania, and everything that's been going on SmackDown and Raw, which we're going to get into in a few. It's been fantastic. And for our listeners, right, just to kind of put this out there, there's just so much happening on SmackDown and Raw that we're actually going to take a little break on NXT, TNA, AEW, and any other promotions because there's so much going on out there that we're just like, you know what, since it's WrestleMania month, let's just focus on those 2 main shows right now because we're getting that much closer to these matches and what's going to happen and so on and so forth. So just want to let that be known to our listeners. If you want to know what's happening in AEW, you got to check it out on your own.
Yeah, man. Sorry. We're just for, till Mania season's done. Then when we can go back and, have a little more time. But the other thing is that I ran into a bit of a hiccup this past week and we've both been running around like crazy. So we've been backed up on being able to bring what happened with Raw and SmackDown last week. So we're going to do a kind of just a mega episode here of just the past Raws and SmackDowns because time allotted, to cover the 4 things. It's also easier to do it without having to focus on AEW and TNA. So apologies on that end, but we will be coming back with that. We just want to knock out the, just give me the baby. I don't want the labor pains. So just let's go with some WWE stuff. Let's get ready for Mania and let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. All right. Well, with that being said, let's jump into last week's Monday Night Raw in Glasgow, Scotland. Was that last week's or 2 weeks ago now? Right? 2 weeks ago now, right? Apparently?
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks. Yeah. 2
Okay. All right.
The 24th or the 25th of March is what it was. Yeah.
Right. 24th. Yeah. Or 30. Yeah. Okay. You're right. All right. Anyway, going forward, John Cena opens the night, right? He comes out, major reception by the crowd, FU chants, this whole thing. My thoughts on the promo really quickly. It felt like a part 2 from last week's, like the weeks before, like the real promo that he dropped from Brussels, like that hard hitting one.
Right.
It just felt like this was like a part 2. Just, hey, I'm still that guy. I'm still that jerk. So hate me kind of thing. I wasn't really crazy about it. I was more so excited about, the following Monday's promo. That was fantastic. But this one was like, okay, I get it. Slowly but surely we're building, but not too crazy about this one, but definitely was in 3rd place, Yeah,
well, this was just pretty much him saying, I can still play you guys. And, everything that I said about you is 100% correct. And, you make this so easy when you use vulgarities and stuff like that, blah, blah. Cody Rhodes comes out. And the take from there was, it was what, two Raws ago, I think this was. So this was the one where I think Cody said, the one thing that has never been said to me by the fans is you can't wrestle.
Yeah, right. Well, no, that was the following Monday.
That was the following. Oh, okay. That was the last one I saw. So that's where I was like, okay, I'm trying to remember all the moving pieces here. But that was the one where I think where he was like, oh, the champ is here when Cena was leaving the ring. And he's like, champ's no longer over there. Champ is in the ring. He laid the belt down. Yes, it was like I said, set up, get everything going because we have this build now. And now we're on this John Cena is a jerk tour, which I love. So I think it was great. Played right where it needed to go, not too long, good 7-8 minutes of the opening of the show, if not maybe a little bit more, but no, solid promo.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, it was more so like, I guess it wasn't that impactful for me because it was like the shock was over, right? Like the first time it was like, oh man, who is this person? And this one is like, oh, okay, we saw this last week. But again, slow build, I get it. Cody comes out, try to clean it up and tries to put his 2 cents into it. But then ultimately, John makes a promise to win and retire with the belt. So that way, his legacy is cemented as like the villain of villains and etc. So okay,
Oh well, yeah.
I
Also,
was
he's
cool
like,
with it.
he's like, you also never have to remember the name Ric Flair. You will have to remember the name John Cena. And then he was
Yeah.
like, because I'm taking the belt and I'm retiring with it. I was like, okay, that's cool. That's what I was like, all right, that's cool. Like, get it, great. That's well, I dig it.
Yeah, I was down with that. And then moving along to the next actual match, first match of the night was Usos versus A-Town Down. Usos get the win on that, and I was really happy to see that after so many years that they haven't actually tagged together, which is crazy to say out loud now that you really like look at it.
Mhm.
It's good to know that they haven't lost a step. You know what I mean? They look better than ever. I guess it's like muscle memory and like riding a bike. It's like, hey, I'm tagging with my bro, my twin, so all good.
Yeah, no, it was an entertaining match. It was, A-Town Down Under, they're doing solid work. So, good little heelish guys that you can kind of roll over. And bringing the Usos back together worked, especially for what you were doing later on, because after that, the match, Gunther came out and then hit Jimmy or something, and then Jay tripped while trying to do like a spear to Gunther,
Mm-hmm.
and then felt like he was quote unquote slipping, and then that's when in the back they cut later on where Jimmy says Gunther's beatable. I'll show you. I'll take him on in the match next week, and then he confronts Gunther in the hallway, and you get the 5 fingers to the face heard round the world. He caught him with a good one on that. He caught him with a good one.
Yeah, I loved every bit of it. And what I love now that you mentioned that spot, what I liked about it is after Jimmy hits him across the face with that slap, it's like Gunther took it like a champ and then smiled at the end of it, which is like, okay, it's definitely adding a little bit more spice to their match to WrestleMania. So I like how it was done, even though it makes Jay look weak. At the same time, like I get it, we're building. So
yeah,
but I liked it. I overall liked it. That's the segment for sure.
Yeah, no, I thought it was fine. The match was good. Built to the segment, to what needed to happen. Brought it along. Great. Once again, solid work. Nothing felt too boring. Everything worked. Like that slap was great, and bang, I dig
Bang.
it. Let's roll.
Yeah, I was with it. And then here's one of my favorite parts of this episode's Monday on like Monday Night Raw, the segment of the promo video of El Gran Americano. Did you see that video, man?
Oh my god,
so good.
This is like he was training in the Gulf of, or came from the Gulf of America, and like
Gulf
this and
of
that.
America.
And I'm just like, whoa, I'm like, this could go south kind of fast, man. You have to be really careful towing this line. Really careful. But
no, super,
it was good.
super good.
It was funny. It was funny. It was they packaged it really, really well. Like the way they had the old school throwback, like the old 8mm reels and the black and the white and the voiceover and everything. No, it was very well done.
Yeah, super, super funny. Awesome. And then, which leads to the next segment of Chad Gable showing up with a doctor's note, that he can't compete. And it's like a legitimate doctor's note. And Ray is like, what is this, preschool? Like, what are you doing? And
yeah.
Good little spots.
Dragon Lee, my man Dragon Lee. And then Dragon Lee still says he doesn't care. He'll take a match with whatever. And then my man, was it Aldis? No, it's which was
Pierce.
I get Pierce. Pierce does a match with him and Grande Americano, right? That's the kickoff there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super good. I like these in between segments, especially since again, I don't know if people are noticing, but we are having like that average of 4 to 5 matches, maybe even less, because it's getting filled up with actually entertaining segments like this. So good job overall. The production is looking awesome with that. And then that leads into Lyra versus Raquel, right? Because that was for
the ICC Women's IC belt.
Right. And then ultimately Lyra retained.
Right.
Which it's funny, speaking of Raquel, because I know we've mentioned in previous episodes that we're not really crazy about her. I ain't gonna lie though, I just recently saw an interview with her on CVV. Definitely have a change of heart though. She's seems like such a sweetheart and a definitely hard worker. So I definitely see her in a new light.
Let's clarify. Let's clarify this situation. You said you're not a big Raquel. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I said, and then I said why I think you don't like her. I never once said
Fair.
And so let's get this. Don't try to take me down with you.
Oh wow, okay. I thought we were a team. I thought we were primos for life.
Yeah, we are full. But when you start bad mouthing people, man, I can only do but so much, dude.
All right, fair enough, man. Fair enough. So in that match, Lyra retains.
Yeah.
Overall, good match though. I mean, very solid. Middle of the evening type of match. Super good.
Yep, little filler to kind of get everything going, but still get some story done, because you have to give Lyra a chance to defend her belt. It can't be anybody who's truly going to be a threat to take the belt to get her ready for the road to Mania, because you still have to find somebody for her to fight there.
Exactly. Yeah. And then my leading into the next segment, there's that whole conversation of the special guest referee and the rematch with Rhea and Io. They replay that whole segment and that whole conversation. At this point, as a fan watching, I was like, I'm not crazy about this, because we speculated that something like this may have happened, or would have happened rather, at WrestleMania.
Right.
I'm glad that we saw it now, because I just don't like it. I don't like Rhea. I know she has to try to fit her way into this, but dude, you lost. Let Io and Bianca do their thing, and that's it. Stop disrespecting Io. Stop mushing her, because she got mushed again on this episode.
This is all about getting the mush, man. Damn.
Yeah.
Just taking hands to the face. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah. And I don't like it. I don't like that, because
no, not a fan of that at all.
It belittles her as a champion. And then again, I mean, in the interest of fairness, Bianca earned the right to face the champion, regardless of how it played out. Rhea, as a true champion, right, should have been focused, shouldn't been paying attention to Bianca when she lost. And that's it. She got to deal with it, sit out. That's all. But I mean, again, I get it. They're building to a story, triple threat, cool. I'm just like, no, sit out. I'm over you. Let them have their match. Those are my thoughts on that whole spiel.
I mean, this is when they set up Bianca, because that match was that night, or was it this past week? So once again, I'm confusing Raws. No, because it wasn't that night, because that night was Penta versus this guy. Okay. Yeah, well, they got to set it up. And like I said, they're going to work the three-way dance in here. They're going to try again. It's still totally within the realm of possibility. Who knows? There's still a couple of weeks away from pulling something off, and we still have a Raw to follow that we have to recap. So I see it. I get it. Like I said, you're just trying to keep interest in these superstars and what you're trying to pull off. So time filled. Got it.
Yeah. And then, but moving on to the next segment, New Day asking for a tag match, because they're the best, most decorated, tag team in the history of tag team wrestling.
Why are they not in the mix here? Why are they not in the mix here? New Day needs to be involved in the mix here. This is ridiculous. Hunter, get off your ass, man. Make this happen.
And they get denied, right? Because they have to prove themselves, which leads into the following Monday night's match, which we'll touch on that. Really good. Any New Day segment I've enjoyed, because I like how more sinister and sinister they're becoming. Like, they're really, really driving away from the bootios and the unicorns and the colorfulness. This is like, a Dragon Ball Z level villainy. So I like it. I'm with it.
I've loved these guys. I've loved these guys forever. So anything they do, I think is golden. So this is fantastic for me. I thought it was a great segment. I love Kofi and Xavier being heels. It's great work. Really good.
Yeah, for sure. And then moving on to the next match of the night, we put on it's El Grande Americano versus Dragon Lee. I put in my notes, Chad wins, because that's straight up Chad.
Chad wins. Like, I mean, he's jumping around, he's wooing, he's got his fingers up and stuff. I'm like, come on, man. Like, fine. Let's go along with it, because we're gonna have to unmask him at some point. So let's kind of get it in. But that was a fun match. Dragon Lee's great, quick. Gable's good. Gable's solid. He showed he can, that he's really great in the ring. I've always said that as soon as that injury happened with Jason Jordan, and that Gable had to start going alone, that's when I started to realize how actually good he is in terms of the working in the ring and his technicality and stuff like that. So great, fun match. I thought it was good. I think this is a fun little gimmick for him to have coming off the luchador thing. Training with the luchadors and stuff. So fun. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, I 1,000% agree with that. I feel like Chad Gable, in the sense of growth, I love when talent changes and growth and evolves, and even a little bit more with this character, you see more levels to Chad. And he's long overdue for a singles title. He does deserve a shot at some either US. I mean, US title is the most logical one, but even going for the IC
give him
at
the
some point.
Speed Championship. Give him that thing.
Yeah,
Put something on him. But put something on him. You're not going to put the IC belt on. There's so many people that you can put the IC belt before you have to go to Chad Gable. Like realistic. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, let him be that champion to have it for like a month or two, or you know what I mean, or get it on a pay-per-view or a PLE and then lose it on Monday. You know what I mean? Like, do one of those things. You know what I mean? The quick swap.
At that point, they just make him the speed champ. Let him be the speed champ. Because then he can walk around and be like, "I'm the greatest speed champ ever," and then you can actually do something with that. Then you build a little more. Then you build a little more credibility, and now you push him towards on. Now I want the next belt. Long-term storytelling. Person.
Okay. There we go. I like it. Not a bad suggestion. Triple H, I hope you're listening because, that's pretty good.
New Day spot. Triple H. New Day.
Yeah. Then we jump into the CM Punk segment where he talks about how he wants Roman and Seth. Well, actually, it was a solo segment, right? This is where he says that they haven't. What did he say? He said Roman didn't defeat Punk and Seth hasn't defeated him.
He said, "You guys haven't beaten me without the help from the other one," or something like that. So
exactly, without each other.
Like,
yeah.
Like you guys say, like you guys can't beat me without him, and you can't be without him. Which true, great, love it.
Yeah,
in their face, dig it. I'm waiting for this to just go off the rails crazy. This is gonna be a fun triple threat. This should be really, really good.
Yeah, no, especially going into the other episodes that we go into. Oh man, what an awesome starting point to get to. You know what I mean? So awesome segment. CM Punk always rocks the mic. He's really good at that. I mean, the guy is a natural, so there's no debate there. But in the interest of moving along, we got Logan Paul calling out AJ Styles. This I'm actually excited to see, not so much for Logan Paul, but for AJ Styles, because we haven't seen him in the ring for a minute. The guy looks better than ever for almost reaching 50. He's still got it. He's still, jumping and doing crazy stuff. I like this segment because it just builds on more and more how much of like a punk and a weasel Logan Paul is being portrayed as, especially in their next segment that they do later on in the following episode. The way that ended, I think, again, an awesome stepping stone to lead up to that next episode. Really good. I was a fan of this. I like this.
It's like you said, they're building this the way they need to, and I mean, AJ is going to lay down for Paul. He's going to put him over. It's what's going to happen. But it should be an entertaining match, and the segments are good because Paul plays a great dick, and people want to not like this guy, and he makes it easy, and it's they're doing really good work in terms of the way they're approaching these segments, the way they're drawing from real life and stuff like that. Like, so it was good. I these are very entertaining. I agree with you. I can't even see AJ Styles back in the ring, even though I do believe he's going to be in a loss.
Okay, calling it early. I like it. And then finally, we get to the main event of the night. We get Penta versus Braun Breaker for the IC Championship.
So looking forward to this match. Yeah. I love Penta, and I'm starting to come around on Breaker, and this is promised to be one hell of a match. So I was very, very happy so that this was going to be the main event.
Yeah, no, so super, super great match. They're both incredible performers, really awesome wrestlers to put against each other for the Intercontinental Championship. So I was very happy with that. Obviously, before the inevitable interference of the Judgment Day, we saw that Dominic tried to recruit Penta a few weeks earlier. This was an opportunity. Actually, there was a segment earlier in the night that Dominic was like, hey, you could be IC champion tonight. You just got to think about it, So that's what played again going forward in that match where Dominic comes out and he's like, hey man, we're here to help. Like, hit him with the chair.
Yeah.
And then
the chair
didn't.
to him.
Yeah. So awesome for Penta to keep his integrity, especially coming from like a Latino fan. I get it. Like Eddie Guerrero was huge for I lie, I cheat, I steal, because that was part of the gimmick or part of the culture, yada, yada, etc. But to kind of see Penta, keep that integrity. And it's like, nah, man, like I'm my own person. I don't need a group. I'm pretty awesome all by myself. You know what I mean? So really, really appreciate that he didn't have to stoop down and pull the cheap, I hate to say it this way, but like Latino cheating card now.
Right,
Good for Penta.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was solid. Yeah, because just to give everyone a quick thing, if no one remembers or someone missed the episode, Braun Breaker was down. Dominic went to hand him a chair and said, "Hit him. We'll roll with you." And then he around hit Dom and obviously changed course of everything. But yeah, no, it was a solid match. The interference was good. Because it didn't take away from either Breaker or Penta. It left them both. No one loses any steam with the judgment interference the way that was done. So I thought very good. I'm trying to think, did Penta lose the match outright, or was it just an automatic disqualification? Did it end a disqualification? I forget.
I believe it was an automatic disqualification. Like, I think Dom tried to help.
Yeah,
Penta
Breaker
didn't
won by
agree.
DQ. Yeah, that's what it was.
And then Dominic just went in and started swinging and then just cost everybody the match, and that's it.
That's what it was. Yeah. So good. So like I said, that way no one loses any headway. You can still build, and now you can probably push Penta Breaker to Mania and give yourself a great WrestleMania match. That's going to be a really fun one to watch, or because we're going to see how this plays out with Balor and the Judgment Day moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. But that wraps up that episode of Monday Night Raw in Glasgow, Scotland. Really nice, very awesome episode. Definitely, I would call that one the stepping stone episodes because it just adds to what happened the following Monday, which was incredible. But we'll get to that right after we touch on Smackdown that Friday out of London, which awesome town, awesome wrestling town. The fans,
they were great. They were live.
Yeah, for sure. So that was fantastic. To jump into the opening segment there, Cody opens up the show with a visit from Randy saying that he's proud of him, and once WrestleMania is over, that he's going to come around for that belt because even though Cena's going for 17, he wants to go for 15. That whole thing. Drew McIntyre comes out, interrupts, and he calls Damian the Timu Undertaker, which I was like,
the Timu Taker. The Timu Taker. It's like, oh man, that's cold-blooded, dude, but very funny.
But I kind of see it and I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that was good. That was good.
Yeah. But again, during the whole segment, what's it called? The fans, fantastic. What we expect. Like we mentioned in our last episode with the best friend of the podcast, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Your international fans are just fantastic. These are soccer hooligans that go every weekend to watch games in England. So you could expect that these chants were phenomenal. So
right. No, definitely good.
Yeah. And then we go into the first match of the night, which is Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly, Hometown Heroes, right? So we get the hometown match there. And, the one thing that I will call out was, I understand that Street Profits were going to win because they just got the championship. And I believe this was a title match, right? This is for the belts. So I understand that the Profits weren't going to lose, but I was like, man, they didn't give Pretty Deadly the win because they're the hometown heroes. But I get it. Again, belts were on the line. They're not going to switch off.
Yeah, you can't do that right then and there. It's a tough move. It's a tough move because they're just like while they are at home, it was kind of like that McIntyre thing where he keeps losing in Scotland. And you're just like, come on, man! Like if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it in front of the hometown. So yeah, kind of cold, but once again, like I said, you gotta get the Profits over. It was just good to get Pretty Deadly, some hometown love. So I think it was a solid match. Profits was because once again, rather of course, I love Tez, so love watching the Profits, and he's just fantastic.
Yeah, agree to that. And I even feel like Dawkins has just gotten better. He's just a lot more agile, a lot more fit. He's just really all over the place. So I would say this is, as long as they keep being champions and they keep performing the way that they are, this is like, creme de la creme Profits. I'm all down for it. Super cool. Love it.
Yeah, I think a slimmer Angelo Dawkins definitely adds to his athleticism and makes him just that much more versatile. And I think that's what you need as a WWE superstar, to keep them calling your names, to be able to do different things and, not only be the powerhouse, but also be able to get your cartwheel on and deep to the top rope, shit like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. And then next segment, we get into with Zelina Vega. She's talking to the girls and they're talking about how, that Chelsea Green is getting out of control with her and this secret her service. And then Chelsea
Secret
and them,
Hervis. Secret Hervis.
secret. What is it? I can't say it.
Secret Hervis.
It just sounds weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's tough to get out. Like until you say it enough times and it starts to come out naturally. Yeah, it's a tough one. But Secret Hervis.
So how often are you saying this?
Oh, all the time. I got a Secret Hervis shirt upstairs.
No, you don't. No, terrible.
No, because I remember because I was trying to say it like 2 or 3 episodes ago when what's her name joined Alba Fire. When she started taking over, yeah. So I remember trying to say in that episode and saying so like afterwards I was like Secret Hervis, like
Brown Town, Brown Cow, right? It's you just kept saying
all that stuff, whatever all these acting things are.
For sure. So basically, Zelina calls them out for cheating because it took all 3 of them for Zelina to lose the match, and then that's when Katana and Kaden step in, and they're like, "Well, we'll take on the Secret Hervis," which obviously led into their match later on into the night.
Secret Hervis, great. I mean, you knew what was going to happen there. Poor Katana and Kaden haven't been around on TV for a minute, and you're going to put them up against Chelsea Green, who's the champ, her goons. Like, it's that. Poor girls. But good to see them on TV. Like,
Yeah, for sure. But that's the setup for later in the night because the next match is LA Knight versus Braun Strowman for the US title. And that was kind of crazy because, I mean, we know LA's going to get the win because, he's going to head into Mania for that. But obviously it's because of interference of Jacob Fatu. So
I love you, Solo.
But again, for me, I'm okay with it because I'm a huge fan of Jacob, bro. He could ruin as many matches as it takes. Just be that monster, dude. I'm okay with it.
I can't wait. I can't wait for them to unleash a good singles run for him. It's going to be really, really fun because he's great and he's a fantastic athlete. He's got just a bunch of different tools. Like he's quick, he's agile, looks crazy, he's strong as can be. Like that's going to be fun. So I agree with you. Just let's get the setup going and push everything along. Like I said, we're on the road to Mania, so we're laying foundation. We're getting groundwork.
Yeah, for sure. That one was pretty good. Those jumping moonsaults that he does off the turnbuckles, wild. Because the first thing I think of is like when he lands, he hits his knees, and it's crazy because he'll jump on the second rope all the way to the third, do the moonsault, and then whack onto the knees, and then he's like, "I'm gonna do it again," and then he does it again, and I'm just like, man, these
crazy
guys, what they do just for our entertainment. Thank you guys for real.
Seriously.
Yeah, but the next segment, Jackie goes ahead and asks Jimmy about the slap heard around the world, and pretty awesome segment because after Jimmy being Jimmy, answers all goofy and fun and stuff like that, that's where Carmelo and Miz come in and kind of try to clown him, and they clown each other, but it sets up a match for later on in the week. But overall good. I kind of like this Miz Carmelo dynamic only because it's more comedic relief than anything else. Obviously it's like a temporary thing, but I'm okay with it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good way to use 2 of your superstars that you really don't have time to put in matches right now and have them get some good backstage time so they're not forgotten about. So yeah, definitely good because I like Carmelo Hayes, and Miz is just always fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And then after that, we get Jacob confronting Solo and Tama Tonga, talking about bringing the U.S. title back to the family. I mean, any segment that they're in is fun. I'm just more excited for the payoff. I'm just more excited for like, okay, well, where does this go? Is Jacob gonna break away from the new bloodline, or is he gonna be the one ending up being the leader and Solo falls back? So I just want to see what happens there. But fun segment. I liked it. No problems there.
I was like, yep, great. Once again, a foundation. Let's keep rolling, just because it's like you said, you're waiting to see what they do with Fatu, because eventually he's going to have to break away. What's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back in that one? Is it going to be that they cost him another better championship opportunity that they cost, So yeah, just kind of waiting to see the implosion of the new bloodline.
Yeah, for sure. Now, this was probably my favorite segment of the night, and it was the Naomi is the crazy friend promo. And I loved every bit of this, man.
So like single white female type shit,
Yeah. Like a page out of Mickey James' book when she was obsessed with Trish Stratus. I loved it. I loved the whole promo. It was great. She was like shaking back and forth. She was like crying, real tears. It was like, I did this for you. But, once she came into the picture, it's like, you forgot about me. But we were, the big three and this and that. And she was new. And I was like, wow, like there's some real feelings there that came off camera. Like, okay, I know they're all best friends in real life, but there is a possibility that there is a level of jealousy and unease when it comes to, a girlfriend group. You know what I mean? So awesome.
Right. Well,
awesome segment.
Yeah, definitely. Anything is possible when you're dealing with more than two people in terms of the dynamic and relationships. The minute you introduce a third person into that dynamic, it completely shifts everything. So I think this was really, really well done. It's good to see them give Naomi a shot to do something different besides the glow and the bouncing and the happy and the dancing and then this and that. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, great. We know she can do that. It was like when you got tired of Bailey being the hugger and the side ponytail and you're like, come on, like she's good, so let's do something else. So I think this is really good, giving her the opportunity to work and show her chops on the mic with this promo. Like you said, great acting, great work. I don't doubt that she did pull from some real stuff that happened to her, real feelings that she has. So, but yeah, I agree with you. That was a great segment. I'm very happy to see this little kind of push and this move for Naomi, because it's been a long time coming. She's been there for a minute and she's had some good runs, but it always seems like kind of fades quickly because that glow, cheery, happy gimmick was only lasts for so long with fans before it starts to wear thin. So, very, very entertained by this, and I thought it was really great.
Yeah, agreed. One thing that you said that I kind of like was, you're right. Her gimmick for a long time was the happy, dancer, glow in the dark kind of person. But now, because it's more of a heelish kind of, persona, it makes sense, because now it's like almost like she's radioactive, right? It's like, that's why she wears like the caution tape and things like that, because it's like beware,
Danger.
kind of situation. Really awesome way to flip that. I didn't pick that up until now, so all right, man, I see you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I've been watching this product for a little while.
But then the next segment is what I call Aleister Black promo with the smoke and the number 4. And
oh yeah, these smoke things that are I saw that and I was like, Aleister Black. Like, what are we really doing here? Aleister Black, let's go. So, like, we know it's him and Ray were the two major signings that are coming over soon, and they're not going to put either of them on NXT. They're going to shift them right to the main roster, like so. And once we saw the promo for Ray, it's like, okay, well then this is Aleister Black. Great, yeah, let's go. Like, Zelina Vega's boy is back. Let's call it a day.
Agreed. Then we jump into the next match of the night, Michin versus Charlotte. This was a whole cluster of events happening, because ultimately Naomi jumps Michin and B-Fab. Jade saves the day because there was an earlier segment between the three of them. So that's why I guess Jade felt obligated to kind of help them, because they were just talking 20 seconds earlier. But yet, after this whole beef and, jumping happened, Charlotte, being Charlotte, still comes out and, starts walking to the ring. Jade and Charlotte have a stare down, kind of planting more seeds to that, because that happened in the beginning when Jade first came to WWE. So, okay, cool. But then ultimately still goes down to the ring to have the fight with a broken, jumped Michin, which I thought was kind of not cool, but not cool. But kind of going back to that conversation that we had recently about the female talent and how, we're trying to build these characters up, but yet another B-Fab moment, right? Where now Michin is the one getting beat up this week, and we're not building up the rest of the women roster. So
right. Well,
I was okay with that.
This is their thing to pull the heelish Charlotte stuff. So it's like, let's push her as the heel and get this over. Like, this is the best way we can do this until the following week with the promo, which we'll get into a little,
Yeah. Then after that, obviously Charlotte gets the win. After that, Tiffany tries to save face and come back with like another promo. It was okay. I wasn't really crazy about it. I was more, I like their interaction in the later episode that we'll get into, but it was okay. It was tough for her because she's so still new to this, and you're going against somebody so experienced like Charlotte that when you're trying to save face, it kind of comes off a little awkward, but I think it saved her this week until the later episode for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so nothing crazy there. Then we lead into Randy versus Drew from the earlier segment.
God, this is a long ass episode. Holy cow.
Oh, yeah. It's wild.
Jesus,
well,
man.
Remember, SmackDown's 3 hours. So.
Holy, we're at 36 minutes. We haven't even got to the new stuff. Holy cow.
Right. Randy versus Drew. Drew wins. KO comes out to beat up Randy. That's pretty much it. Drew gets the win. He gets, something happens to him later that we'll touch on. Overall, good match. Whatever. It's just setting up for the following weeks, which in this case ends up changing, right? Because we find out some news that we didn't know was real until whatever. Jump into that later.
Mm-hmm.
In the interest of moving the episode along, we get another Rey Phoenix promo. Now it's officially confirmed. We all knew it was him, but It's him. Cool. Next match, Jimmy versus Miz, because it was set up earlier. Jimmy wins, calls out Gunther. At the moment, I wasn't really crazy about this because I felt like it was giving too much momentum to the wrong brother, right? Like giving Jimmy momentum. But obviously, we know why it was being set up this way. So,
exactly.
Yes. At the moment, I didn't like it, but now I like it because it makes sense. So, moving on to the next, Drew is going to go out, celebrate his win, heads to the parking lot. Boom. Timu Taker, Damian Priest pops out of the shadows, smashes him through a car windshield. Awesome segment. What the cherry on top on that segment was when Punk is walking by with security and Drew is just like my eye and Punk is just like smiling and walking. Awesome. Really awesome.
Great storytelling without having to use a lot of words.
Exactly. And then final segment of the night, contract signing between Roman and Seth and Punk. Everybody gets to the ring. Everybody acknowledges Roman. Seth has a couple of things to say about him having to clean up his mess because that was the building that the Shield debuted.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Over that segment, Punk comes out, rapidly looking through the contract. Roman's like, "Today, Junior, like, what are you doing? Sign the contract."
Just sign the contract.
And, he was like, wise him up, let him know what it's in there. And then he's like, yeah, you're going to be main eventing WrestleMania. There's tears in Punk's eyes. He's like, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Roman. So acknowledge me. He's acknowledging him, yada, yada, yada. But then the segment ends with, but that's not the favor. And everybody's like, what? Like, we just did all this to find out that that's not the favor?
That's not the favor. Yeah, it was long drawn out because, like you said, Rollins came out and he played a great bitch. Like, no, you don't get to have tears in your eyes. You don't get to enjoy this moment. I was like, my Lord, gosh, enough with you. But it was fun because Roman Reigns was like, one man's, happiness is another man's paycheck or whatever. And he was just like, just sign the contract. Let's go. He's like, I'm the, you got your thing because now you're main eventing WrestleMania. And you can thank the tribal chief. And then, like you said, Punk did that. And it was like, like, that's not it. And you're like, okay. Okay. So, how many more weeks do I have to Mania? Okay. So then you're like, somewhere around next week, somewhere around Raw, something like that, they might bring it in. And then, sure enough, this past Smackdown, they hit us with it. But I thought, fun contract signing. Roman Reigns was great. It's good to see him, like, lean back in the chair and just be the tribal chief and shit. Like, that's fun. Rollins is a really great crybaby. He's absolutely fantastic at it. So I had fun with that. That was good.
My favorite part of the segment, really quickly, and then we'll jump into Raw, is during CM Punk looking for what he was looking for, they were like, it's in there, what you're looking for. And you hear a London fan in the background say, what's he looking for? Awesome. I like really go back and catch that. That's hysterical. Funny. I couldn't stop laughing.
What's he looking for? Like, okay, dude. We'll tell you.
What's he looking for? Awesome, man. But overall, fantastic way to end the week, especially leading into this past week's Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, because so much happened there. All right, that concludes part 1 of this mega recap episode. Stay tuned for part 2. Coming up next.